Okay, so we are again. So we're continuing the live stream. Everybody say hi. You're on YouTube. I hope you don't mind, but it's too late now. Okay. Okay, so at this time, I can't see questions, but ask questions. We'll scroll through on YouTube and we'll answer them. So a question was asked what my biggest failure was. And I clearly stated that I don't have a single biggest failure. I have many failures, but my view on this is a failure is not an event, it's a process. So nobody just woke up and failed. You know, if you do fail, it's a culmination of action or lack of action, inaction over a period of time. At the same time, success is the same thing. Nobody was born, came out, you know, the womb, I'm a success. Nobody woke up one morning, I'm a success. If you do succeed, it's from a string of actions, sometimes inactions and dumb luck that happen over a period of time. So I'm going to take out personal failures because that's personal. Business failures, I failed in the .com era because I was under the impression that success and failure was a matter of merit and not a matter of marketing. I was so pissed off when Bikini.com got $30 million and all they had was girls in bikinis, literally in the website for girls in bikinis. And I had a fully functional office productivity suite that stored files on a server and you could use from any connected device that ran Java. I literally did Google Docs 20 years beforehand. So no matter how good I thought the idea was, they got the $30 million. I got about offer for $1.72 million, which I thought was an insult, which is $1.74 million more than I eventually got, which is a total loss. But that failure was a learning experience. Okay, so I gauge, I quantify, or I use the metrics of success based upon what the market is measuring it by, and not what I measure by personally. And I was relatively young at the time. I had a failure in real estate. I did a very, very good job of real estate investing. I bought distressed assets, fixed them up, made them cash flowing, pulled money out, bought another one. I was happy. I didn't do a lot. From a percentage return, very, very high returns, deep into the 4 digits. I got caught up in one deal when I was selling everything off because 2 plus 2 so that you can live at 179 again. And
residential or commercial?
These were small income. So if you're familiar with Brooklyn, they have brownstones, 2 to 4 units, 2 to 5 units, and I would buy them off. So they're classified as residential. Some of them were small commercial if they're 5 units or up. But from a real estate perspective, they were small commercial because I rented each floor out or a duplex, several duplexes out. I got caught in a lawsuit by doing a very engineered deal with somebody who wasn't very sophisticated, but I actually tried to help them out. But they defaulted on our agreement anyway because I guess that was their nature. I'd say 8 months after the deal closed, he hired a lawyer, and we fought in litigation for 6 years over this. This is something I closed at a regular closing for. Passed the deed, we both had lawyers, 6 years. I ended up selling it for $800,000. The property was worth maybe $8 million at the time. Someone developed it and a lot next to it. And now they've had maybe 90 units, all told about $34 million. So my big lesson there was stop assuming that just because someone says that something's mine, it's mine, which goes to the point of having a bearer asset. If you don't have it in your hand, you don't have it. Okay, you have promises to get to it, you have an IOU, you have a derivative of having it in your hand, but there's one thing that you don't have, and that's it in your hand.
Counterparty risk.
Credit risk and counterparty risk. Good. Very valuable lesson. And also the fact that you think you own a deed, but someone can sit there and muddy the waters and cost you a fortune. I think I had a failure in Veritaseum. Veritaseum was originally developed. The first launch was in December 2013. We had the first swap, peer-to-peer swap, to clear. I was excited. I didn't sleep for 2 days. You know, I was the first one to do this that I knew of. In 2014, I hired a new team of veritable genius. My CTO was also a patent attorney, and we developed it. But we never were able to monetize it because I ran out of money 3 times. That was a failure. You know, I learned a lot from it. I didn't get to monetize it. It was a very good idea. I did get the patents filed, okay, applications filed. Then I tried it again. I used my own capital. I did small, sales, private, transactions, and then I did the token offering. The token offering was a big success because I structured it as I would want it, a financial person. I believe that if anybody's going to benefit from the value increase of my activity, it should be me. So if I'm going to do something to raise capital, I raise what I need, okay, and then any value that accrues after that raising should accrue to the company or the entity that raised it. And the lucky or very prescient few who bought into the idea in the beginning. Now, we didn't sell tokens as equity or shares or securities. It is seriously prepaid fees for our products and services. But I feel our products and services are so unique, robust, game-changing, disruptive, there's significant value there. And you can tell me, I think that the hedge fund, private equity fund arena has a very rude awakening coming. They've already seen cracks and weaknesses in the fact that they can't stick to the 2 and 20 model, and that's been weakening for a while. Okay, they're getting pushback from clients. Am I correct?
Yep.
Okay. You're going to get a lot of pushback if someone comes in with a flat 5% fee. Now, it's not just standalone buy-side institutions. The sell side, which I don't want to say colleges. Let's not make any more enemies than I already have, right? Which price creatively, okay? Unless they're able to perform at a very, very high level and justify those fees, any prudent speculator or investors want to go for a flat fee. If you look at the performance, I don't know if anybody follows my social media tweets, and I use Hootsuite, so I just blast it to everything. I made a sample portfolio in the Veda. The Veda is our software. The basically smart contract driven research. It's research that is consumed by a smart contract, and a smart contract then acts upon the research, and acts upon the research by buying whether the research favors or selling whether the research doesn't favor. I put $1.8 million of assets in the Veda of my own, of our own, the company's own. November 8th, it went up to about $8.2 million early last week. We had a very bad few days, okay, for those who actually don't think long term at least. So now it's about 6.8 to 7.9. I think everything went back up. So let's say an average of about 7.5 million. 1.8 million to 7.5 million, roughly 60 days.
Okay. What is that based? What's the portfolio about?
It was Ethereum, Bitcoin, Populous, and I had a lot of Veritaseum, and I tell everybody Veritaseum is not an investment. It's not a security, but Veritaseum is how everything, operates. It's the key to get in. Okay, so I just happen to have a lot of it in there to just put the sample portfolio together.
And can your platform make money on downturns as well?
Well,
Profit over that?
it can, but currently we're not, it's not programmed to do that just yet. You can use contract rent to do that. Contract rent allows participants in the Veda to borrow Veri and potentially other assets. Once you borrow an asset, you can use it to sell something and then give it back later on. Okay, but that's not what we're doing. This is basically going to be long only. Okay, if it was an investment vehicle. I don't consider it an investment vehicle, I consider it software. But using the parlance that everybody's comfortable with, long only, long term. So, very few people are purchasing tokens or ICOs with a long-term perspective. They go in, they look for a rise, they throw it down. I'm thinking maybe 5 years in advance. Just think of a SME factoring facility, such as Populous. Let's assume Populous pans out and works. They've created literally a new asset class. Okay, factoring receivables that are tradable and liquid and available worldwide. Okay, the correlation will be relatively low to the S&P, but there'll be some correlation. And it's something very, very different. If they execute well, they could grow very quickly. They potentially have a competitor Veritaseum though, or Veritaseum could be used as a platform to leverage out and go in other markets. If Populous works, it's not going to be a slam dunk next week or next month. But if it does work 5 years from now, okay, you're talking a potentially very successful company. Niche market, a niche market that's very big and it could potentially grow it larger because it becomes more liquid as more people are able to access it. So instead of having 4 or 5, maybe private equity funds and specialist investors buy the factory, they can have 300,000 or 400,000 people globally, okay, put capital in, and now the mom and pop, you know.
There's a huge demand for microfinance. It's a real issue when you're, operating. I have a lot of friends that have opened up stores, and it's a real problem for them to manage their inventory.
Right.
So that's a real value add.
I mean, it's definitely there. And they have a lot of potential. There's PayPal, which is a competitor to Populous.
CPP.
Yes, we have a report coming out on them. As a matter of fact, excuse me.
Eastland too. I was looking at one.
Yeah, it's hard to go over everything. Soon, I'm gonna have the analysts focus only on ICOs, and then there's gonna be another small team that's gonna focus on, as opportunity comes up, physical assets. We've done quite a few already, it's just not public. There was a Caribbean airline. We were gonna do a very, very highly structured deal, very high, a very high yield for potential investors, equity sharing, revenue sharing, the whole nine. It's going to save the airline. It's going to give the investors a very, very strong, fully collateralized return with equity participation. But these things are hard to push through because this platform is new. Once the beta is ready, next week, actually not next week, after it goes through a security audit, code audit, I will mollify the risk of having regulatory issues by just using it myself. So I will throw our own capital into it, right, in mass, and I'm going to go shopping for opportunity. And I will buy it, and I will try my best to make money, and I'm pretty sure I will succeed. Difference is I'm going to do it publicly in front of everybody. So remember all the Lamborghinis sitting in front of the Ferraris? Conspicuous consumption. I will now flip that on its head. You will see Veritaseum and Reggie and Reggie's partners do conspicuous production. I will produce value in real time in front of everybody using this tool. Excellent marketing, right? Wow, he's making money. Excellent marketing. He's eating his own dog food. There are a lot of people who make a product that would never use it, and I will use it exclusively. Okay, and there's a lot of places to make money. Just need to learn to look. Whenever a hurricane comes through, I should be walking right after the hurricane, before the water dries, trying to take care of all the assets and people who need money. Questions, comments?
I would say one of the biggest injustices that's getting sort of carried out over the past maybe 60 years, and this is just macroeconomically thinking, is like the whole manipulation of the monetary system.
Right.
Particular to manipulation of some of the most important monetary metals of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that really attracted me to Veritaseum is the replacement of capital markets, which might go up to the head of the monster, which could be COMEX, and what some people call the crimex.
Mm-hmm.
And the delivery of particular assets at a certain time or whatever, in whatever amounts, and the rehypothecation of all of them.
Right.
And to me, that's what I just sort of see as the end game. I'm from the perspective of a hodler, that the end game is going to be coming for a long time. They've been able to suppress whatever they thought was going to happen, and it sort of morphed into what it is right now.
Right.
And
I'm listening.
I just see a lot of value in the idea of Veritaseum being able to create peer-to-peer markets where people can really be transparent with each other and not have like these hyped up fees, like sort of like all like mutual funds ripping people off and stuff like that. And,
so the way Veritaseum eliminates the fees, if I went through the legacy system, I'd have to charge high fees like everybody else. That's how they make money. I'm using the Google method. Google alters the business model, just like Amazon.
Compresses.
Okay, and then they usually eliminate the costs. Does anybody use any Google products? Gmail or Google Search or anything? Everybody uses Google, right? Who doesn't use Google Search?
We're technically the product, but
okay, exactly. So they made you the product, okay, and then they drop the traditional product's price to free. Okay, it is very hard to compete with free. As a matter of fact, this phone is an example of what I call Google's negative margin.
they subsidize the cost of it to get the
right. They do more than subsidize the cost. Android is free.
Yeah.
Okay. They do revenue sharing, or they used to do revenue sharing with downloads and advertising, so you can actually get positive cash flow. So now, not only did you not pay for the operating system, which is the largest expense in cell phones, operating system upkeep, except for initial design, you actually get revenue shares for some of the activity on it. How do you compete with that? You can't. Other companies have to come up with a capital expense, develop the software, upkeep it, market it, etc.
Make money off the backside too.
Right. And so Google simply says, okay, we give it away for free, we make money from the side. Amazon has done that. Amazon has killed several industries by making money through the side. I do the same thing. So theoretically, I could charge $0 for Veritaseum products. Okay, $0, and I simply charge for transactions at least. I charge by complexity of the deal. Simple deals, you know, get on for free. Complex deals, highly structured deals, you know, I meter the price depending on complexity. That was the original swap transaction.
Could you give an example of a complex deal that Very would be able to run efficiently? Like you just mentioned there, like what type, like a deal structure there, like you know, maybe an office building.
So without the use of like a smart contracts, like intermediary or something.
Right. Well, there's no intermediary. Smart contracts monitor the entire transaction. Mm-hmm. This building you're sitting in is a condo hotel. Yeah. Okay. It's a hotel and condo units. The condo units are sold off. I'm pretty sure this is somebody's condo unit. It's sort of big for a hotel room, and they use the hotel staff to rent units out and administer them, and they get a fee for it. I can take this hotel, I can veritize ownership of the deed, I can veritize cash flow from the actual hotel operations. I've been renting the rooms. I can veritize ownership of the actual condo units. I can veritize the management of the condo units. Now we have one building, one business model. I have 6 different revenue streams and methods of ownership. 6 different potential investment vehicles out of what was one. Okay, I can then mix and match them. I can combine them. So if you're an investor, long-short investor was somewhere, you're a long-short investor, you find that I have a lot of S&P equity, some, you know, LLC equity, etc. You're looking for diversification. I say I can create a product for you that has a negative correlation to what you used to investing in, simply by mixing and matching this, giving you a slice of this and a slice of that. I'll automate it. You get your yield, your dividends. If revenues hit a certain milestone, this happens automatically by smart contract. No credit risk, no default risk. Everything runs as planned. Your only real risk is setting the contract that wasn't suiting for you in the first place, because you can't break it, you can't back out of it. A smart contract is, somebody help out? Nobody knows? Smart contract. Smart contract's a piece of computer code that emulates either a social contract, I'm going to go out with my girlfriend at 8 o'clock, I promise you'll have a good time, or a legal contract. I promise that I will purchase your car at 6 o'clock for $40,000 if it's in XYZ condition. A smart contract takes that, turns the codes and the transaction into computer code, and then executes automatically as a computer program. Locks it in, it can escrow the actual funds to prevent malfeasance, fraud, etc. It runs on its own.
You can't basically back out of your own bullshit. If you promise it, you're going to deliver.
So that's why, and that's the major risk, you know, be careful what you ask for, because you're going to get it, in this sense.
That's the beauty of it.
It's the beauty of it, and it's also the ugliness. If you figure it out, was a smart contract, people sign the contract but fail to read
Sounds like a
landline. Is that our phone?
Yeah. TV.
That means it's probably mine, yeah. Okay, let me pardon me, that's probably calling to you. Hello? Okay.
Reggie,
yes.
That example of this building and this unit and the cash flows of an asset class.
Yes.
Walk me through that one more time again.
I'll go walk you through it. Let me show you what the actual application looks like first, and you might be able to understand a little better.
So I'm just trying to understand if I can accrue a return, but I'm not taking on risk. There must be some risk, no free lunch. So
of course
what risk
there's
am I
risk.
taking on?
The risk is the risk of the actual asset that you're veritizing.
So I'm taking on the valuation risk of the asset?
No, you take on several risks. For instance, if you want our cash flow, okay, and I veritize the cash flow, the 5-year cash flow
This
for this
unit,
building.
5 years of a decent.
Of this unit, okay? You're taking on duration risk, interest rate risk, you take on operation risk of the management. Depending on the risk tranche